reported down here, but I think I see a disturbance. So did you see somebody's body with somebody else? Not yet.
So when the police arrive to the scene, they find a teenage girl hit with the oo-wop. Paramedics rush her to the hospital where she expired. So detectives arrive, speak to the first officer, who says a fight broke out inside the club at a birthday party. Everyone comes outside and somebody let the oo-wop loose. They see that she ran across the street and down a medium. They find a shoe and red along the route where she ran. She was identified as Juanita, 15 years old, active member of her church. She was at the party with her friend, but she didn't know who the birthday girl was. While searching the scene, the physical evidence department find 29 cases in front of the club, and down the street they find a different casing, but not sure if that's related to the case or not. Then, while they're down the street, police pull over a vehicle that was fleeing the scene. Detectives head to the vehicle, look inside, and it's red in the SUV, also holes in the car, like it was hit with the oo-wop. So they take everyone from the SUV down to the station. Start with Neiman first. He looks like he's been through something. Neiman say he was hit, then they was put out of the club. Heading to the vehicle he was getting in, somebody hit him across the eye. The detective asked, what does he look like? He said he doesn't know because he was knocked out when that happened. So he have no clue what happened. So they turn to the next person. He says he saw a guy with a long oo-wop as he was driving off. He said as he was about to turn, he swerved and the guy jumped out of the way, but he clipped him. Then the guy let the oo-wop loose and hit the SUV. He states the same guys that touched up Neiman did everything. Then they let them two guys go. Later that morning, the detective get a call from a woman saying she doesn't know the guy who pulled the trigger, but knows the guy that was with him. His name is Suber. So they go snatch him up, bring him down to the station, start interviewing him.
So let's start at the beginning.
I got into it with somebody who jumped me in the past.
Then when he exits the club, he see people running across the street. He saw them letting the oo-wop loose, then somebody else started letting loose, but he doesn't know who it was. So they let Suber go. May consider filing assault charges against him later. Issue a $10,000 Crime Stopper reward. Almost 2 months go by, and they get a tip saying Don Hodge, a.k.a. Dun Dun, did it. So the tipster come down to the station. They print out a photo lineup with Dun Dun in it, see if he can pick him out, and he does. So the next day, they snatch Dun Dun up, take him to the interrogation room. The detective start by asking, how long were you at the party? He said no longer than 15 minutes. When he came outside, all he heard was boom, boom, boom. Then he got on the ground by the door, and he heard that a girl was hit. The detective asked who did it. He said he doesn't know. So the detective tell him a lot of people are saying you did it. He said they're lying. Then Dun Dun said, are you gonna lock me up? The detective said yes. Then he said, you trying to put an M on me that I didn't do? The detective said you did do it. So Dun Dun asked,
what physical evidence that you got outside? You got some cameras on there? I don't need cameras. You need something. Because you detained me on some he say, she say, baby. No.
Then the detective present him with some evidence he has. He tell him about the SUV that was hit with the oo-wop after they clipped him with the vehicle. Is that true? Dun Dun said yes. Then he states no matter what you say, I'm about to lose everything. Then he says that he let the oo-wop go in the area where he heard them letting the oo-wop off at. He thought they were coming for him, so he returned fire. So they charged Hodge with an M, and Dungia Suber ended up pleading guilty for working Neiman. He received 5 years community service. So Hodge's case was handled by the Dallas County District Attorney Office. Dewey Mitchell was the lead on the case. So Mitchell and his team starts examining evidence from the detectives and ballistic reports. All of the cases were from the same oo-wop. 7.62s, but there was one casing from something different. But that was the only evidence they had. They never recovered the oo-wop from Hodge. Now the defense attorney, Bradley Lawler, he's a former prosecutor with 35 years experience. He said in order for the state to get an M conviction, they need to prove it was his oo-wop and that it was meant for her to be expired. And when he read the medical examiner report, it said the wound didn't have the same pattern as it would if it came from Don Hodge oo-wop. So Lawler pressed to have the M drop. So the prosecution hit Hodge with engaging in criminal activity and deadly conduct, carrying a max of 20 years. So June 2011, Don Hodge M was dropped, but he pled guilty to the other charge. So the sentencing hearing begins. The prosecution calls gang unit officer to the stand first, present him with several photos, trying to prove Hodge is still active. After looking at the photos, he states Hodge is still an active member. Then he calls Dallas detective to the stand. He starts by saying 24 cases were found out there. And when you asked him why so many, what did he say to you? The detective said something about it ran dry or something like that. Then the prosecutor asked, do you remember him saying, I got mad? The detective thought about it and said yes. So the defense take over, asked the detective, don't you have descriptions of other people out there carrying UWAPs from witnesses? He said yes. So the defense said, Hodge told you that he acted in self-defense. The detective said that's what he said, but I didn't believe it. So the defense ends questioning and called Don Hodge to the stand, asked him to tell the judge where he was when he exited the club. He said that he was in front of the club and he saw two people with UWAPs but couldn't see their faces. So then he asked Hodge, why did you need to get an UWAP? Hodge said he wasn't thinking. Now the prosecution starts questioning Hodge.
Okay, so 24 shots are yours.
The bullets in there, so you can't say all 24 was mine.
Mitchell said we have 24 cases, all from the same UWAP, so they have to be yours. He said, I guess so. Then Mitchell said, do you feel remorseful? Hodge said, yes. Mitchell said, is that why you told your PO what went down, went down? Hodge said, I said a lot of other things also. So the prosecution and defense closed. The judge sentenced Don Hodge to 16 years in prison. Thank you for watching. Leave me some comments. Hit that like button. Stay safe out there. Done talking.
They need to go to Dallas County and go get the forensics paper and then show that